Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Broke Watch Fanatic with another video review. Today I will be reviewing my Grand Seiko SBGA413. This is my first ever spring drive and I traded my blue Seamaster Professional for this one. The reason being, I felt like I had too many dive watches at the time and I was looking for a more dressy piece but also something that can be worn with jeans and a t-shirt. So this is a 40mm case size with a lug to lug of 47, thickness of 12.8, and a lug width of 21mm. It's constructed out of high intensity grade 5 titanium, has a see-through case back, a box shaped sapphire crystal, and you can see that it lacks a bezel around it, which I wasn't used to at first, but now I find it quite unique and interesting. The movement is the 9R65 spring drive with a 3-day power reserve and accurate to about plus or minus 1 second a day. It also has a standard magnetic resistance of 4,800 amperes per meter, which I found upon research to be equivalent to 60 Gauss and also not that impressive. Released as part of the Four Seasons collection, this model is the spring version or the Shunbun. It is a modern reinterpretation of the original 62 GS, which was Grand Seiko's first watch with an automatic movement back in 1967. The dial is supposed to resemble the cherry blossom petals scattered across the surface of a river soon after the spring equinox. The subtle pink tint to the dial is difficult to capture on camera and also in person, as the dial looks silver most times throughout the day. However, there are times when you look down on your watch and the pink hue is so pronounced that it makes you appreciate the watch to another level. It just depends on the lighting. It's sort of having like an Easter egg on the dial. Now this model was only released in the US, but I later found out that Grand Seiko released the same watch internationally under the reference number SBGA413. I don't think it's a good look on Grand Seiko for doing this because it creates a sense of distrust from the consumers who felt like they had an exclusive model only to find out it became a general release a little later. But I guess it's just business. And I shouldn't be surprised as they have done this before, case in point, the SPB197. The Grand Seiko SBGA413 is a watch that must be seen in person to truly appreciate its beauty. And most of its beauty is in the dial and case finishing. The textured dial keeps you interested as the light hits it from multiple angles. To me, the texture resembles more of an artist's brushstrokes than the marketing of the cherry blossoms. The hands and the indices are sharp and well polished and catches the light at all different angles. To put it simply, the watch sparkles like a diamond as you move it around. And to top it off, the Grand Seiko logo is applied and adds a touch of gold. The case finish is also something to admire as it combines a mixture of both brushed and polishing accents. If you count the faceted sides, you can see there are 4, and if you turn to the lug, it's also faceted, a very angular case which tends to side on the masculine side. Combine that with the elegant design of the dial and you have a versatile timepiece on your wrist. The titanium is extremely light, especially when you're used to stainless steel, as it counts for most of my collection. I have no issues wearing titanium and feels very comfortable throughout the day. Some people want to feel some weight on their wrist, but to me, whether it's stainless steel or titanium, for the most part I tend to forget any watch is on my wrist at the end of the day. The bracelet is decent and mostly brushed except for the ends of the center links. It is a true 5-link bracelet and is held together by a pin and collar system. This is a very lovely piece that adds a nice balance to my collection, which is one of the reasons I acquired this watch. However, it does come with its negatives. For one, the gold lion logo on the case bag is very obtrusive. When you want to admire the movement, it just gets in the way. I wish Grand Seiko applied the ghost logo like they do on the newer models. The self-winding rotor is quite noisy when you shake your wrist, not to mention the winding action, which sounds like you're winding a toy car. And my last gripe, the bracelet and clasp. This is definitely one of the top criticisms of Grand Seiko. The fitment of the end links to the case has a very loose tolerance to it. You can see tiny gaps just by how the watch is positioned. The clasp just doesn't sit flush with the bracelet, and it lacks continuity for me. You're almost concerned that it might get caught on something. And lastly, no micro adjustments. Now, the Evolution 9 collection remedied these issues by making the improvements, so that's a good sign, but it still lacks the micro adjustments, which you can only get on their sports models. Overall, you have to appreciate the craftsmanship of Grand Seiko and what it's doing to the watch industry. The competition that it brings to the table definitely gives other brands a run for the money, and it creates opportunities for innovation. If you're thinking about purchasing this watch for yourself, I hope this video helped you make a more informed decision. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Until next time, take care everyone.